feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy. That's more success, you know we thriving, ayy. That's more depression for our rivals, ayy. Could teach a lesson on survival, ayy. You know I'm from the bottom.
Welcome back, wealthy people. What's on with it? It's your boy David, one half of the Black Wealth Renaissance crew. Here with my brother from another, Jalen. What's good with you, bro?
What's down with you, my brother? What's up, all the people on the internet, all my internet cousins and aunties and uncles? How are y'all doing? I'm great.
We back.
I'm blacktastic, feeling amazing, sounding terrible because I don't know what's going on with my nasal cavity. But we here, we pushing through.
Hey, listen. What's up, family? Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. We do apologize for the hiatus, but you know life be lifing, and we glad to be back. Hopping into the podcast flow, getting our thoughts and opinions and this information back out there, man, because this is one of those things that it's very important that we continue to do it. I understand we went away for a minute, but hey, look, we back better than ever, and we got some interesting things to get into for y'all.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I know for sure, I've been fighting for my life.
Hey,
became too important at work, and I got two kids.
Under
two kids.
They both under 2 right now, too.
Y'all, when I tell y'all I've been getting stumped out, elbowed, jumped on.
My boy been going through the ringer with that one.
Struggle.
On my end, last you guys heard from me, from both of us, was actually from before Jalen's second child was born, before I had surgery. So I ended up having to get surgery on my knee. Your boy went out there still trying to have his hoop dreams, you know what I'm saying? I was 30, cooked, washed, whatever you want to call it.
His knee was
tendonism, falling off the bone. That's what happened.
No bone.
Bone was in the wrong place. It was all bad. It was all bad. But look, we all better now, you know what I'm saying? We getting back into it. I'm into cycling and starting to jog a little bit. I might do a 5K by the end of the year, you know what I'm saying? Just getting back into it, getting to the swing of things. Yeah, bro. Hey, look, we getting with it. I done did 300 miles this month of May so far. Well,
I got to see the 5K. You did 300 miles on the bike. You talking about a 5K on the bike or a 5K running?
I do a 5K on the bike every day.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, a 5K run. Yeah, that's what I'm working toward.
Okay.
Right now, like I can do like a quarter mile jogging right now. You know what I'm saying? Just a little something. But like walking, jogging, you know, I do quarter mile at a time with the jog. Just keep building up that endurance.
Okay, I love to hear it, man.
Indeed.
I don't know if I'm going to be running on 5K anytime.
Hey, man, it's just one of those goals for myself. You know, one of them things, like, you don't value what you have until you lose it a lot of times. I wasn't running or doing really any of this shit before I hurt myself. And then once I hurt myself and I realized
Watch them cuss words.
You're right. When I hurt myself and I realized I could not do this anymore, it made me want to. And now that I have that ability again, I'm not going to take it for granted again. I can't just be sitting down in the house when there's things I could be doing. You know, last night I went on a night bike ride. It was a great time. It was like 300 people out in the streets of Dallas just riding bikes, unsanctioned, listening to music.
Sounds like hooliganism.
Yeah, man. We had people, all kind of stuff going on. People made, I met this dude, he had a custom backpack with a speaker in it. He had made it himself. He's out there listening to Thuggish Ruggish Bone. I was riding next to him most of the time. Like, it's the Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Yeah, bro. We was having a good time.
You need to not try to sing that again.
It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Come on, man. Let's get this pod started, man.
Yes, indeed.
Ain't nobody came here to hear you singing, man.
Hey, man, if y'all want to hear my musical stylings, y'all subscribe to the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? I got bars.
Yeah, we just want to say we are happy to be back recording. I got a lot of y'all messages from LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Y'all's finding me all kind of places. Say, hey man, what's up with the pod?
It's a few people definitely hit me up as well. Like, yo, I think I posted a video on my social media from a boucherie that we did, and somebody was like, hey man, where the pod at, G? Like, what's going on? Where is that? So we do apologize, but we back. Y'all make sure to tell a friend to tap in. But yeah, without further ado, brother, you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right. So y'all know what we do here at Black Wealth Renaissance, man. We talk about things that affect us as a community, the Black community, building wealth and we can't start this episode without addressing one of the biggest elephants in the room, and that's inflation in America, especially when it comes to them MFing gas prices. Gas is too damn high. Point blank period, right?
Hey, man, I had a dream last night. I don't know why I was dreaming about gas prices, but I had a dream that gas prices hit $5.79 in Texas. And I was so hurt, bro.
And
I was struggling.
And the reason you're hurt behind it is because gas is one of those things that's like, we don't have an option. It's like
that
inelastic,
I drive a
right?
truck with an 8-cylinder, 5.0.
But it's an inelastic good where it's like, bro, you're going to need it, especially in Texas. So whatever the price is, we're going to pay it. But you can't sit here and say that it doesn't affect us. Gas prices in 2026 are up 33% year to date from May last year.
Hey.
So last year, the average price per gallon nationally was, I want to say it's like $3.22 a gallon was the national average. Now, national average is floating between $4.33 and $4.36 a gallon. So, I mean, you look at it, that's $1 and some change increase per gallon. That does affect us in terms of, your budget. You gotta, especially with the summer travel season coming up, you gotta take additional considerations for things. Coming into this, right, we want to talk about like what led to this situation, because I mean, it was all just good a year ago, right? I mean, it's been a while since we've been on the pod. So.
It was good until February 28th, if you ask me.
You ain't lying, though. It was kind of smooth up until, things popped off. But you mentioned February 28th, so I'm going to let you get into it, man. What happened?
Everybody know what happened. February 28th, the United States of America, led by Donald Trump, and Israel, the United States of America and Israel decided to attack Iran. We ended up bombing Iran over operation that was supposed to last 2 weeks, according to Donald Trump and his advisors. It was supposed to last 2 weeks. Here we are, May 30th, 2026. Still
3 months later.
Going through this, okay?
With no foreseeable end in the near future, right?
Anyways, yep, exactly. So we attack them, we bomb them, and in turn, what does Iran do? Close the Strait of Hormuz.
Shut that down.
And how did they close the Strait of Hormuz? For those, I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with the Strait of Hormuz at this point. What it is, it's a geological strait, pretty much a very narrow waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean. I'm pretty sure that's where it connects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean, which 20% of our fuel flows through. The world's fuel supply flows through that strait. And a lot of people are like, well, how can they close off the strait or some of these things, right? The way that they did it was they actually started planting water mines through the strait. So ships that would try to pass through it would either hit a mine, or some of the ships were actually being attacked. But on the flip side, the U.S. started attacking ships as well that were trying to go through it. So isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Bro,
this situation got so royally screwed fast. I mean, like, it was open and it was closed, and they said it was open at first, right? We attack, they close it, boom. Now we create the problem. Then for a brief period of time, it reopens. We don't really reach an agreement. Now it's like, hey, you got to pay us. Now you paying, I believe Iran and the U.S. are both charging people fees to get through there at this point, like military blockade style. So it's definitely a situation that has put a strain on global fuel supplies, right? A lot of countries and companies are now warning that, like, approaching this summer season, reserves are going to start being impacted. Now, like, that's one thing with oil, right? In America, we have hella reserves. Like, I don't want us to sit here and think like we don't have anything. We have reserves, but we typically import foreign oil so that we can keep those reserves because, I mean, you're always going to need oil, right? Like, you're always going to need it. And we do produce some things domestically as well, like in state. in the United States. And I know one of the other things that they proposed was that, Venezuelan oil is going to fix the situation. We took over, we had Venezuela's leader deposed, and we've taken over. And we really don't hear much about that anymore these days, because it just kind of happened like it was a big thing for 2 weeks and it was gone. But one of those misconceptions that was brought about by that was like, people were like, hey, Venezuela is the most oil-rich landmass in South America. I think maybe even in this hemisphere. But the oil there needs to be refined heavily.
It's extra heavy crude oil.
Yeah. So, and they don't have the infrastructure to actually make this happen, because there's been decades of underinvestment. So it would take more of a capital investment and time to fix the current situation that we're in. And we don't have that time because the geopolitical conflict kind of sped run like the issues with the supplies in oil. So now we're looking at an issue where the price is going up. And then on the other flip side of it, we have the divestment from the U.S. dollar. So the United States used to have a lot more control over, oil, the oil trade. We had an agreement with OPEC for the petrodollar, where, all trade, because most of the oil comes from that region, right? The Middle East, where we're talking about Strait of Hormuz, these areas here. They had made an agreement with the United Arab Emirates. Hey, we're going to do all transactions through oil will need to be denominated in dollars. Well, now that's changed. We've seen over the last, I'd say, 5-6 years, heavy divestment from U.S., really the U.S. dollar in general, but running things through the U.S. I'd say likely, if I had to look at a choke point when it started, probably the Russia-Ukraine conflict, whenever they started slapping sanctions on Russia and the other BRICS countries started getting concerned. When they shut Russia out of the SWIFT global payments process, they're like, well, if you could do that to them, what stops it from you doing it to us?
It's us, yeah.
So they're looking at it like, we don't want to give you this much power still. Like that exorbitant privilege we've had from being the world's reserve currency, we're starting to see it slowly slip away. And as the dollar and petrodollar gets weaker, it's going to fracture the system, because people are now being able to discount and do trade in other denominations that doesn't involve us. And whenever you start cutting the dollar out, you start increasing costs for us, because we're not able to pass those costs off, or those differences in cost to other pieces or people that are craving the dollar,
Yeah, that definitely affects us on a global standpoint. And one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about, I know you talked about like the inventory level. Exxon actually issued out a warning about reaching critically low inventory levels, right? And
their
CEO Chapman stated, we're approaching unheard of inventory levels. I mean, really, really low levels. You could debate whether that's going to hit those really low levels in 2 or 3 weeks. But once you get to that point, you'll see prices shoot up. And they're talking about Brent crude going from $94 a barrel right now to up to $150 to $160 a barrel.
So what would that mean, like in terms of gas prices, whenever we're looking at that, right?
Yeah, like, so right now with it being at $94 a barrel, we're seeing prices average. What do you say the national average is right now? Like for what?
Like around $4.35.
All right, if that's at $94 and you're going to tack on another $50, $60, $70 on top of that, I want you to do the math.
That dream, that nightmare you had might just come true, my brother.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Quick little Google search. At $150 a barrel, the national average for regular gasoline would jump to $5.20 to $5.60 per gallon.
Okay, yeah. So that's about another dollar jump.
Once again, that's national average, right?
So in Cali,
Cali, y'all probably looking at like 12, really.
In LA,
I think I saw LA's gas.
It's a lot of places in LA right now that's like $8.
That's crazy. So yeah, they saying right now the average in like Los Angeles, Long Beach area is $6.08. For regular mid, you're looking at $6.31.
Yeah, man. But as that continues to deteriorate, I don't see the situation getting better anytime soon with it. Unfortunately, I'm hoping we don't get to the point where we are at 150 a barrel. But realistically speaking, on the geopolitical conflicts, that's probably not something that's going to improve in the foreseeable future. So as we head into the summer season, I would definitely say, that's going to be a budget constraint that people should keep in mind.
One of the things I do want to say, because us being Black Wealth Renaissance, how can we make money off of this, right? If you're looking into any of the energy stocks, I'm just looking at ExxonMobil right now. Over the past 6 months, they are up 24%.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if we know that gas is about to go up, that's some things that you probably should be adding to your portfolio.
Just like you said, energy costs in general, too, just kind of getting on that topic real quick. I mean, we've seen that, with the AI boom, and that's something we'll get into later, that's also an associated aspect of it is energy. So energy is definitely a sector that you should be looking at, because if you've been paying attention, things have kind of pivoted from the end of last year to this year, where last year it was all, tech companies and everything, but now it's kind of pivoting more to really not just tech companies, but AI specific companies, as well as energy that's going to be associated with.
And whenever you say tech companies, because I want to zoom out on that. Whenever we say tech companies, a lot of people would think about like the Mag 7 and stuff like that, like the Apples, the Microsofts and everything. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the software companies, they're getting beat. The tech companies to look out for are the companies that are actually making hardware, right? The people that are making chips, the people that are making the GPUs, the people that are refining the silica that needs to go into these chips and everything. Those are the tech companies that you need to be looking into if you really want to help your portfolio excel. Don't look at software so much right now. Because of what AI is doing, a lot of the software companies are getting beat to crap. They're getting beat to crap.
To add to that real quick, the software AI companies are burning cash, whereas the hardware are the ones that are making the cash flow. They have the free cash flow. They're able to take these investments and continue to grow with them.
Yes, sir.
And did you see Dell?
I haven't seen Dell, but I heard the news on Dell.
Bro,
Trump.
Crazy work.
One day, they are up 32.76%.
Crazy work.
Over the past 5 days, up 57%.
Crazy work.
Over the past month, Dell is up 101%, dog. That's crazy.
To your point, right? These hardware companies are the ones that have been making the strides, right? Micron, Dell, Intel, companies that are involved in things like chip manufacturing, RAM, memory storage,
market manipulation, corruption,
a lot of insider deals. Not as bad as with the AI circle jerk that was going on for a minute with Oracle, OpenAI, and Nvidia. Speaking of Oracle has ate it hard this year, right? We were talking about companies that have not had the greatest performance. I want to say since that announcement, they're down pretty significantly. I want to say at least over 20%.
Oracle.
I want to say they peaked at like 300 something. They were up to the 320s and now they're down to 225. So, that's a sizable decrease, about 33%. When you look at just that time frame from October to now. Significant portion of the stock has declined. Just again, going back to that point though, that Jalen was bringing up, the software companies are the ones that are seeing the challenges, whereas hardware companies are the ones that are starting to reap the benefits. So again, with what you're doing with your money, make sure you're pivoting. You don't want to hold hold on to something that's not growing too long. I think in investing, that's some of the biggest mistakes we can make is chasing behind losers. I remember my first taste of investing was with cannabis stocks. And like, yeah, bro, they was pumping back in like 2018, 2019. They were pumping.
For what we're using to invest.
Bro, I might have been using friggin' Acorns or something. I don't remember. No, Stash. It was Stash. It was Stash. Yes. It was on Stash. Yeah. It was on Stash. Yep. And I want to say I held that joint for maybe 3 years where it was like 50% down.
Too long
and
for
like
me.
And I was over here just hoping against hope on legalization, and it's gonna go to the moon. I'm gonna be up so hard. And it's like, all while you holding and waiting and praying and wishing and hoping, something else is moving. And that's not to say to chase behind things, but you got to look at your positioning. It's like, am I positioned in industries that are growing or industries that are falling? I don't want to be in the industry that's falling unless there's a reasonable prospect for why it's falling and I'm getting it cheaper and it's going to be better in the foreseeable future. I have to give up on some companies. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold them.
Unless you got solid insider data that's saying, oh, this is about to happen, it might not be worth it.
It might not be worth. So
yes, sir.
Moving on, we still on this inflation topic. You know, the U.S. inflation has been a big thing. One of the topics Jalen wanted to discuss after going to the grocery store. Man, what's up with beef, man? What's the beef with beef?
What the beef with beef is, beef prices is crazy. But really and truly, the thing that kind of like triggered me is I actually read an article where the CFO of Costco was talking about their projections and some of the trends that they're seeing within their stores, that people are starting to buy less beef and they're actually starting to turn to chicken, pork,
cheaper alternatives,
canned tuna and canned chicken as well.
Canned chicken?
Yes.
Canned chicken?
Canned chicken, dog. So
you must eat some dog food. Canned chicken?
I mean,
chicken don't belong in no can, man.
People buy canned chicken, dog. They sell it, and people buy it.
My stomach bubbling. The canned chicken sound crazy.
I saw that dude's face whenever you say that.
That canned chicken sound crazy, bro. I can't eat no canned chicken. What the hell? I don't like canned tuna neither, but I digress. Yeah, my brother, what you saying?
So then that made me look into like beef prices, and not even just looking into it, like paying attention to it. For those of you that don't know, I work at a retailer. I'm not going to name the retailer that I work at, but I do work at a retailer. And I had noticed that our price of ground beef went from like $20 for like a 5-pound pack of ground beef to like $30 for that same pack of ground beef. I was like, damn, that is a big price jump.
That's a 50% increase.
But then I also started noticing like just the price of ribeyes and the price of everything else out there. I was like, oh, a lot of this stuff is going up. At one point, I saw like ribeyes going for sale for like $16 a pound.
Yeah, now I mean, you lucky to get a good ribeye for $20.
I was like, yo, what's going on?
So, and what's going on, right? So there are factors that are playing into that. One of the biggest things that I heard, you know, my family, we raise cattle. And my dad and uncles, they've been talking to me about this for a while now. The price that they get paid for cattle is astronomically higher than what they used to receive.
So they starting to sell them things off now?
I mean, they always did sell them. Like, they always did sell, you know, calves. Usually the way it works is you get you a nice herd that you can, you know, reliably have calves on. You leave the calf on the mom 6 to 8 months, then you go and sell them off. They're not even having to keep them 6 to 8 months no more. That's how crazy the price is. Like, on a small calf, my uncle showed me there's maybe like a 250, 300 pound calf. They gave him like $1,800 for it.
Back in the day, give it for that.
Back in the day, they'd have been lucky if they got 600.
Really?
Yeah. So like the prices are astronomically higher what they're paying. Like, everybody that I know back home that raises cattle, they've considered selling them all because of how high the price is.
Wait, don't
and
sell them all now. Y'all need
the
to keep
reason
that.
the price is so high though is because a lot of people actually aren't into cattle farming in the United States. So we actually have our smallest herd size in the United States. I want to say in like the last few decades. Because
they trying to blame cattle for methanol and the
when they were trying to
say
don't raise cattle. It's causing gases that are tearing up the ozone.
Listen, all of y'all industrialization,
brother. It is the plants and I ain't talking about the plants like the trees. I'm talking about them power plants that's pumping that black smoke in the air. That's the issue. A little cow fart ain't killing nobody, man. My little cheese on mine, you know what I'm saying? I like a cow. But yeah, that is an issue, right? Supply and demand, simple economics. Supply gets low, demand stays the same.
Yeah. Prices
got to increase because there's a bunch of people want it, but we ain't got as much. So I could see people pivoting to chicken and stuff like that. I mean, I definitely, it's a couple times I done looked at that steak and I said,
today,
I'm put that joint down today. 3 ribeyes for $55? I could spend $55 a lot better than that.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a concern. I don't think any of this shit that your president is doing is helping.
I'm going to say in the broader scheme of things, though, just beyond beef, like the price of groceries in general are going up as well. I actually saw a post the other day, right? This lady had found an old receipt from like 2004 or 2005 where her mom would go shop to Walmart. She had got like 67 items or whatever, right? How much you think that receipt showed that was for?
67 items. When was this?
Like in 2004, 2005.
2004, 67 items. I'm going to go with, I feel like I'm playing Price is Right. I'm going to go $85.
It was more like $150 or something like that.
Okay, hey man, but listen, you never know. Some people they used to have stuff in the grocery store that used to be less than $1.
Yeah, but that was the thing. A bushel of bananas was like 69 cents.
Exactly.
The cereal on there was like $2.50 or whatever. Have you ever priced a box of cereal lately?
Well, it's like $6.
That's crazy.
Chips, bro.
Chips I was about to say, is the one where I see cereal is the two that were astronomical.
Because I was in the grocery store the other day and I walked by the chips. I said, wait a minute. 2 bags for $7. $8. Like, this is a deal. This is chips. These are chips.
Yes, bro.
What are we talking about? Half the bag is air. And you over here telling me this is a deal, hot deal. You know, they put the big red letters on it. Hot deal. Get it now. It's like, yeah, brother, I think y'all finessing me. I ain't gonna hold you. But I think to your point though, just overall, we're talking about inflation. That is the byproduct of it, right? When it comes to our monetary policy, where we are, Jerome Powell, shout out to Jerome Powell. He's
Big Rome.
Big Rome in the house. He's no longer the Fed chair. He's held the line strong. I mean, he went against a lot of opposition and he did his thing in terms of, trying to maintain the economy without sending us into the slight recession, that whole soft landing concept. But the rate cuts that we didn't help with our inflation problem. And the inflation problem isn't going to go away anytime soon because, again, we just start doing simple math. Since 2020, we've printed approximately, I'm pretty sure at this point, 80% of the money that's ever been in circulation has been printed after COVID. So
that's wild whenever you think about it.
Yeah, bro.
80% of all the money in circulation, bro.
This is just my guesstimation based on latest figures, probably with where we are with, because we never really stopped QE, right? We always just kept printing bread. Yeah, I want to say it was in 2024 or something like 50 or 60% at that time.
Quick Google search. I'm going to just let y'all know I'm using Google AI overview. So if this
What
is
it say?
wrong,
What it say? What?
if this is wrong, y'all don't get mad at me. Get mad at Google and the AI.
I mean, you get mad at me. I'm just guesstimating. She
Between 2020 and 2026, the U.S. money supply expanded by approximately 7 trillion, growing from roughly 15.4 trillion to 22.8 trillion.
closer to 50%.
I was just about to say this represents nearly a 50% increase.
50%, but still, that's still a crazy amount of money when you're looking at it, right? 50%
in 6 years compared to how long we've been around.
You feel me? Like, that is insane. So we're gonna feel the effects of that, and I think what we've been doing for the longest, and has been great as people living here, we don't want to go through economic downturns and stuff like that, but what it's done is kind of create this real frothy environment where it's like not a lot of support for the price levels of a lot of things that we have. This K-shaped economy concept that they've been talking about, where like the people on the bottom are getting squeezed and all the spending is being driven by higher income consumers, brands pivoting to serving those higher income consumers. So it's definitely a concern that you should want to address. And I kind of want to get into bringing up monetary policy, just that the fact that we are going through that change now, right? Where we're getting a new Fed chair and monetary policy may change, because a lot of times I don't think we keep up with who these people are. And it's really important to know their disposition. Yeah.
Let's talk about it, man. So who's our new Fed chair? We know Big Rome is out. I think he's still going to be on the board, though, right?
Yeah, he's going to be on the board of governors. You're right. Yeah, he's still on the board of governors, so he still has a vote. But the new Fed chair is a gentleman by the name of Kevin Warsh. He's going to be the 17th chairman of the Federal Reserve. His term started on May 22nd. He is what's known as a hawk. So that means that they favor
hawk. Like a bird?
Oh, hawk. My bad. I talk bad. That boy said hawk like, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you mean like the hawk? No. Like a hawk, like a bird. Atlanta Hawks. But what a hawk is in the context of monetary policy, is someone who believes in raising rates to keep a currency stable. So
really, that's interesting.
Very interesting, right? Because Trump's whole thing, and Trump's whole thing has been, we got to cut rates. But this is just historically, he has been a hawk, but you got to go along to get in. So he was talking that Trump shit whenever Trump was talking, like, hey man, we need to cut them rates. Oh yeah, man, we need to cut them rates. But now I'm interested to see what he's gonna do.
It's gonna pan out
now that he's in there, because what a rate hike could do, I mean, it's gonna make money more expensive. Which not
when we
isn't
say money
necessarily
more expensive, like getting loans and things of that nature.
Exactly. It's going to be harder to borrow. And, Trump's against that. He wants to keep pricing stable. It's like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to keep prices up here, wants to increase affordability. And like, you can't do all of them at once. You got to do one or the other, right? And what a rate hike would do it would definitely hurt the housing market. Because, I mean, in the Dallas area, I don't know what it's like in Houston, but all I see when I look on Zillow is listings over 30 days, rate cut, price cut. It's getting harder to move these things. A rate hike isn't going to make that better. It's just going to make it even more of a buyer's market.
Because now you're paying more interest on top of what you already.
So the people who can afford it, can afford it. The people who can't. And that doesn't spell well for affordability, first-time home buyers, things of that nature. So it's not ideal. And really, what it could do is raising the rates. It's
just
not
say it how you want to say it.
It's not going to cause a total spiral, but
it could
it's
trigger.
very likely to lead to an official recession where they don't change the fucking definition on it. Because I mean, I would argue we've been in a recession since the time they changed the definition on us, and we've just been kind of like la 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 la, everything's fine. The little dog meme sitting in the house, everything's fine, and it's not.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, even when we're talking about like this money being expensive, let's also talk about cars. You borrow money to buy cars. Cars since 2020 are up 32% on a new car. I was reading an article about that. Most people are paying between $800 to $1,000 for newer vehicles, especially if you're in a truck or SUV. A lot of people are paying between $800 and $1,000 on non-luxury vehicles, which is crazy. Like, we ain't even talking about Benzes. We're not talking about
You talking about on a month?
A month, bro. Yes.
800 to 9. So the average car payment on a new vehicle is 800
like
to
on trucks and SUVs for sure.
Sheesh.
And those top three manufacturers are Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge. So whenever you're buying an F-150, the Chevrolet Silverado, or a Dodge Ram, a lot of those people on the new vehicles are paying between $800 to $1,000 car payments a month.
Sheesh. Whew. Man, that hurt my heart every time I hear that. At that point, bro, go get a cash car, brother. Please, I beg you. And I know there's somebody that's going to hear that and say, man, David, everybody can't get a cash car. A cash car not reliable. Man, miss me with all that BS, man. I ain't trying to hear that, man. Go get you a cash car.
I'll go find you a used vehicle that's probably a little bit more affordable, but that's one of the things that's going to be even higher now if they do decide to raise rates, because now that trickles down into the car market rate. Once again, credit cards. I don't know if you saw within the past year, a lot of the credit cards have restructured some of their programs and stuff too. American Express, they actually ended up bumping up their fees for a lot of their cards over the year. If you don't know, to have American Express card, you do pay a yearly fee, an annual fee on these cards, the platinum cards, all of those type of things. I think they went from like $200-$300. It went up to like $500-$600 in some cases. Now they did increase the benefits and some of those things that you're getting, but you still got to do a lot of spending. Once again, that interest rate is still going to be pretty crazy too.
Man, this just...
So, not to sound doom and gloom, but I said all that to say, let's get our crap together, people.
Yeah. With the potential of a rate hike, I mean, I think the next FMOC meeting wouldn't be until July now. I think it's like every other month. That would be Warsh's first one, and that'll be like when we've kind of first get more insight on which direction they're going to go with this. So that's definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on and keeping you all posted about. Just another thing that I did fail to mention with the raise in interest rates, things like unsecured debts, like on credit cards and things like that, that also may affect your annual percentage rate. You know, it's variable. A lot of the times when you sign up, it puts you in a range. It might go to the top of that range if, things get to be
pretty crazy.
Yeah. If they decide to hike. But I mean, me personally, I'm not opposed to the idea of a rate hike. I've said multiple times, I've been on the record saying, I mean, we're going to have to go through one of these periods at one point in our adult life. And I don't think prolonging it's going to make it any better for any of us. I think it's just going to make it much worse for the people. The people who don't have a lot of assets that are able to sell them before they lose value. Because it's going to happen eventually. It's not like we can go our whole life without our entire adult lives without seeing an economic downturn. Recessions used to happen like clockwork almost every 7 years. And now, I mean, I think it's been, we had the longest bull run ever before the COVID recession, the pandemic recession, which was, I want to say like 12 years. And then that was just a flash crash. Like we've been printing money ever since just to keep things propped up. So we're going to have to address that elephant in the room, as they say. It's going to be some costs that are going to have to be paid. Because anytime you just print money without the economic backing for it, You end up in a hyperinflation environment where your money not worth as much as it should be.
Yeah, David, I agree with you a whole 100%. We're going to have to go through it in our lifetime. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pretty. So the best thing that I just say is, how do you prepare? How do you have your ducks in a row? Once again, kind of like to what we talked about earlier, is figuring out what is doing well. What are the things that people are going to be necessities? Hey, we just talked about people buying more chicken. Maybe you invest in some chicken, Pilgrim's Pride or some shit.
Get you a leghorn chicken, man.
Nah, but in all seriousness, man, it is going to come to a time where basically it's going to be a reckoning. The rubber's got to meet the road. My prediction is year 3 of Trump's term.
You think that's when it's going to happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just midterms, man. That's all I keep thinking to myself. Midterms, people got to show up, show out, get a flip going so we can start getting
Let's talk
policies.
about this midterms, dog. And I'm going to say this on record. I want to challenge us more. I would like to do a better job of breaking down what is being voted for in candidates, man. I think that's something that we can do better in general, is take all of that jargon, all of this high level, all of these crazy words and everything. How can we convert this to plain English for our everyday people and know, hey, this is what is on the ballot. These are the things that you can be voting for.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we would have to do that just on a national level.
Yeah.
Obviously locally, we wouldn't be able to touch many of these jurisdictions outside of what we know locally here in Texas. I'm in Dallas, he's in Houston, so we would know, those types of things. But certainly I do believe it's important, especially going into that season. We may even need to get a couple people on the horn, ask them some questions like, what do you really stand for? My issue with politicians a lot of times is they bought,
wishy-washy.
They bought. Well, it's not that they wishy-washy. Man, it's this. They hit you with this, but in the back they got somebody doing this. Yeah, and that's who they really listening to. The person that's putting that money in that back pocket. They say, "Hey, listen, I know you talked all that stuff about change and hope and how we gonna lower this, but hey, I need you to take care of me before we do any of that." And it's a lot of people that's like, I need that. I think
this is actually a great segue into our next topic, bro.
Okay, get into it, bro.
Which is something that you brought up to my attention. Well, you brought the term to my attention, the corruption economy that we're currently in.
Yeah, that's really what it feels like, bro. That is definitely something. I don't know if anybody else is calling it that. That's just something that came across my mind. I feel like we've entered into that phase, especially with what we see going on.
It all started back in 2020, bro. 2020 is like when the
scamdemic.
Everything just shifted, bro. It's like we went into this whole different universe.
It was after we did that quarantine, bro. People came out of that joint different. People was getting free money. We got too used to free money, I think. And scamming became cool. I mean, we seen the dude, that podcaster, Rich and Unemployed. Bro got hit with like federal charges because he was running an unemployment scam. Like, we got the literal president of the United States suing people on frivolous charges and trumping up money.
Wait a minute. We're talking about suing people. No, the fool sued the country, bro. He sued the IRS. He sued several different institutions like Harvard and all of these other places. He sued a
media
lot of
companies. Yeah.
I was about to say he sued media companies. He sued a lot of law firms and everything like that. Like, the amount of suits that he went through whenever he got in the office was crazy.
And it's not even just went through one.
You're right.
That the amount that he's won, and the concern is, a corruption economy. The reason I always tie it back to, who we have in office, but it's bigger than that one individual. I want to say since he's been in office, he's made like $6 billion, him and his family trust. Most the president's ever done since being in. And I mean, obviously, there's what I just talked about. Pockets being lying, pockets being greased. He used to be anti-crypto. Then the crypto bros started dropping that bag on his head. And he's like, I'm the crypto president. I love this shit.
Trump coin.
I do it for the game. for the love of the game. And it's like, bro, you just capped out. Like, you hated this. You're on the record calling it a scam. But once it became to benefit you, the corruption economy.
Once a few of them Bitcoins hit that wallet.
He said, hold on. I kind of believe in this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot of that going on, where it's just people doing shiesty things that have been coming to light. And yeah, man, it makes you wonder, you know, it's like, should I have been scamming, bro? Should I have scammed? Like,
for me, the answer is no, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
But personally, have you seen people reaping the consequences of those actions?
Yes, I've seen some people.
And you know who those people are?
Who's that? The black people, yes.
There you go.
Yes. So, no, it's not worth it for me.
They're going to get us twice as hard every time.
And it's crazy because it's white-collar crime, right? And normally whenever you hear white-collar crime, you hear like, oh, yeah, you'll go to the feds, but you might do 1 or 2 years, whatever. But I have been hearing a lot of black and brown people are being punished a lot more harsh than our white counterparts.
Of course. I mean, that's always been. It's in the DNA of this country. But to that point, right? I think it's good to bring up in the sense of the corruption economy, and this isn't even, you know, to say anything incredibly negative about any individuals, but let's look at the situation with Fawn Weaver that's been very publicly proclaimed with black business. I mean, one of the darling black business unicorns, Uncle Nearest, is an amazing story. You know, the legacy of Nearest Green, the man who was responsible for the formula that later became Jack Daniel's whiskey. They invested in the company, black-owned whiskey brand, billion-dollar brand, a bunch of great headlines, fastest growing company, XYZ. And then recently, we've seen that they've been embroiled in a legal battle behind a receivership with some loans that are overdue, past due, defaulted on. So yeah, just getting into that, right? We've seen that Fawn Weaver, she's been on the internet. She's been defending her position within that company and stating things, you know, that aren't necessarily true. I'm just saying it like that.
I'm going to just let you know right now, I have a little bit of opposition to some of this, and I'll let you know what it is.
Okay. She's been saying some things that aren't necessarily true regarding the status of the company, and this has been determined by the legal proceedings and receivership that they are currently under. So on May 26th, the U.S. District Court Judge Charles E. Atchley, who was over the case, he provided a 62-page order regarding the status of the receivership. Uncle Nearest was stating that the company is solvent and no longer needs to be in receivership, and the receiver was stating the exact opposite. The judge has sided with the receiver in this case and stated that
they're still insolvent.
They are financially insolvent, and one of the big scathing things that they mentioned in there a few times that they believe that Miss Weaver is not a credible witness. Basically, in legal speak, they say she be lying. She capped out.
Lying and contradicting herself a lot of the time.
Yes. And one of the things that came as a pretty big part of that was a loan. I seen a headline regarding it. A loan that was associated with funds from Jay-Z's venture capital fund. Jay-Z's is associated with Jay-Z. It's not just his, you know, but if Jay-Z name on it, they're going to say it's Jay-Z's. It's a company called MP10. It's an investment firm. They're linked to JP Morgan, Jay-Z's venture capital, Marcy Venture Projects. So they loaned Uncle Nearest $20 million. Uncle Nearest owed Farm Credit Bureau $120 million. So, you know, that money hit the account. The creditor like, I need me, you know what I'm saying? Go on here, get it. So what Ms. Weaver did, and this is her defense, like she's like, listen, I don't want them to take the money because we need it for operations. So instead of taking the loan that was funded for Uncle Nearest she placed those funds in her personal LLC, her own personal investment vehicle called Grant Sidney. So now she didn't steal the money. I do want to equivocally say that. Like, she didn't steal the money. She took that money and dispersed it to Uncle Nearest as they needed it, right? But it's considered a misappropriation of funds because you're taking funds that were for one company, put it in your own account, and then dispersed it to avoid creditors. And realistically, I mean, if I'm the creditor, right? You owe me 120 M's. I'm not approving you borrowing another 20. What? Boy, I need my money. What you talking about? Like, if you getting another 20 and you owe me 120, yeah, now you owe me 100. Thanks, Playboy. You owe them 20. I need that. I need mine. I need me first. First lien holder.
I definitely feel you on that.
But I do, before I let you into it, I want to mention this, right? So part of the order, the last thing I want to say, part of the order after doing that, right, now the judge not only has ruled that Uncle Nearest should stay in receivership, they also put our other company under receivership too.
Which is crazy to me. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So Grant Sidney and Uncle Nearest are now both under the receivership.
And so to me, my oppositions are, some of my thoughts is, do they truly feel this way? Or is this some type of corporate shakedown, right? Because to me, if this company is insolvent, if this company is pretty much worthless, why are we going so hard to fight for it? Like, there gotta be
owe me.
No,
give me me. You owe me money,
there's
value there.
There's some type of value to it. And what I really think, this is just me personally, I think that they didn't think Uncle Nearest was going to be as successful as a brand as it was compared to Jack Daniels. And I think once they realized, oh, this actually has got some validity to it, it's got some legs to it, people are buying it, and we need that back. We need Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest under our control, is personally how I feel.
Yeah, I could see that, bro. Because, my initial thoughts whenever seeing this story was like, oh, they trying to steal this shit again. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got us once. And, like, here this black woman and her husband, they done built up this amazing brand, and they trying to get us again. But, man, it's real hard to argue with documentation, bro. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. And I think in the black community, a lot of times we believe people and personalities over paperwork. Like, I could name countless situations where it's like going back years, and this is a petty example, but I remember Meg Thee Stallion went viral whenever she was trying to get out her contract. Her contract, right? That. Everybody's like, oh man, they put her in a terrible deal. Whoop de whoop de whoop. They was all on that dude head
but like, she ain't even released a fucking album.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, I understand. Like, we like her personality. You like her as a person. But let's talk about what's on paper. What's on paper is this obligation. And if you're not meeting these obligations, we got to treat this like business. And it's not a problem that I think in our community a lot, we don't want people in our business financially. Yeah. That's just, it is what it is. That's not their business. But you need to have levels of verification, because if there's nobody checking the checker, we don't know what they're doing. And don't get me wrong, this is not to say that like this is an indictment on Fawn Weaver. There are people who have done much, much worse stuff and got away with it for a lot longer. Bernie Madoff exists. Sam Bankman-Fried's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people who've gotten away with crazier stuff, but that doesn't absolve this in my sense, right? Like, yeah, she could have still, two things could be true. You could have did that shit wrong. We still like you. We still think Uncle Nearest is a great company, but somewhere along the line, you messed up. You ended up in debt that you couldn't meet, and now, they coming home. They knocking on that door, them bill collectors knocking. And no amount of people's opinion, court of public opinion can stop what's going on in them legal proceedings.
I still feel like it's a corporate shakedown, man. I feel like the judges
anytime it's black people in Tennessee, I get with that angle for sure, bro. I get it. He could be a racist old judge, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna appeal or try to take this to the next highest level. But how much more leeway do they have at this point? That was a bad mark on there, and I mean, it's like some missteps. I remember.
I'm just saying, man, niggas let Spirit go out of business. Why they want Uncle Nearest so bad? Spirit ain't never had a crash in their whole existence,
bro. Because airlines are an extremely thin margin business. Like airlines barely like they make billions, but they don't make hella profit. Maintenance and such.
That's still crazy. But yeah, hey, thoughts and prayers to you, Fawn. I hope you pull through, baby.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think they kind of cooked. Not gonna lie. I think it's cooked. That was. But you know, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I kind of hope I'm wrong in this situation, but it's not looking great on the Uncle Nearest front. Simply because they've basically as my dad would say, they pencil whipping our ass. Pretty much.
Right. Well, you want to move on to the next part within this chapter of corruption economy? We kind of already touched on Donald Trump, but there is a few cases that we didn't talk about with Donald.
Oh, yeah. We could talk on that too, bro. With that corruption thing, like we mentioned, Trump suing the IRS and these other entities. Yes. But also, they've been weaponizing the Department of Justice for a lot of things, right? And this one struck me, and that took me aback. And there was an indictment that he had. They just recently indicted a woman, E. Jean Carroll, that she sued Trump in civil court some years back and won $88 million for an incident that happened 30 years ago where, you know, she said she was sexually assaulted. Now, in the big old 2-6 second term, they suing her saying she lied in court. And they said that Reid Hoffman, a billionaire, bankrolled her legal fees so that she could pursue this case. So now they're going back at her.
What's Reid's opposition to Trump? Because there's got to be some type of opposition if they throw him under the
Netflix CEO.
That's what I'm saying.
He's super liberal. I don't think he rock with them boys.
It's got to be some type of opposition to Trump. If they throw him in there, it's some type of opposition to him.
Yeah. Reid Hoffman, I think he's been publicly a critic of his. If I can remember correctly, I want to say he's been a critic, right? Netflix CEO, and yeah, I just think it's a dangerous legal precedent to where you lose a civil case and then double back and sue them criminally for some shit that you probably did. Our legal system is kind of...
You on record for saying grab about a pussy, man.
I'm almost positive you did that shit.
Ain't no almost. I'm 100% positive you did that, man. You did it.
Yeah, they definitely got you on camera saying, yeah, they like you can just walk right up to them and grab them by the... Whoa.
Yeah.
That's sexual assault. So I do believe, you know, but again, I think it's just it sets a dangerous precedent where people can weaponize the legal system in such a way where it's like
the president.
This like Diddy coming back on Cassie 20 years down the line after we seen the video of him hitting her and be like, that shit ain't happened. Like, I ain't hit her. I did not hit her. You ever seen that thing? Dude's like, I did not hit her.
You see that?
This is a meme. It's funny. It's like from a terrible movie. You should watch it. It's very funny. But yeah. Just corruption, man.
I don't like it either, man.
Just corruption.
A lot of the things that he's been doing is just very corrupt. I don't like it. I also saw an article come out that the DOJ is going to start looking into social media accounts such as X and Reddit for people who are being very critical of ICE as well, and they're trying to prosecute them too. They're wrapping that into the slush fund that they just got approved for all the January 6ers and all of that. Like, it's just very crazy to me, bro. It's crazy to me that we are losing the system of checks and balances. Nobody's
in real time.
Yeah, nobody's implementing this. Everybody They ain't got no backbone. I really want to cuss so bad, but they ain't got no backbone.
I mean, we didn't cuss a few times, but you
didn't cuss a few times. Well, I have said a few, but
I was to say, don't put it all on me, brother.
I'm trying to do better, but it's just really crazy to me to see the country going in the direction that we're going into, and it's scary, honestly, especially being that I have kids, looking at their future. It's very scary. I saw an article this morning I was reading. Peter Thiel moved him and his family. Man. Listen, Peter Thiel moved him and his family to Argentina because he's concerned about the direction that the country's going into.
I don't like hearing.
And he's one of the reasons, bro. Yes, he was a big supporter. He was a big supporter of Trump in 2026. 2022, he gave out like $34 million.
Bankrolled J.D. Vance's whole thing. Like, there are people who are Peter Thiel loyalists. The reason I don't care for Peter Thiel is because he's been on the record saying some pretty wild stuff. They asked, bro, should humans exist? And he paused for like 20 seconds. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that, brother? Like, do you not?
And why you pause? Are you not a human?
Like, yeah, like this is a pretty straightforward question, bro. So what do you mean by that? And then he's also been on the record saying things like he's big into control systems. It's easier to create a system of control than to change people's opinion. And that is one of those things. That's that utilitarian society.
But that's part of the reason why he said he moved into Argentina, because he's scared about surveillance and all of this type of craziest part is one of the co-founders of PayPal and Palantir.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Oh, man. So when the dude that's responsible for it starts becoming concerned, there's a little bit of reason for concern. This is like when Bill Gates say, oh, yeah, I don't let my kids use computers like that. I don't let my kid be on the internet. Like, you make a lot of money from this, but you don't let your kids do it. But you tell everybody else, hey, man, let your kids do it. Yeah. Something's fishy is afoot for sure.
Yeah, so all of that is pretty crazy. The last thing with this corruption economy that we want to get into, or one of the last things.
Well, it's another Peter Thiel associate.
I was about to say, we talked about, did he think that humans should exist? Let's talk about SpaceX, man.
All right, man.
Your boy Elon Musk is off the rails. He's off his rockers, man.
So for those that don't know, SpaceX recently filed their prospectus with the intention to go public. SpaceX is Elon Musk's space company. They're supposed to be getting into space tourism and all this other stuff. You know, they're going to make a colony on Mars. That's what we've been talking about.
What they're responsible for is internet communications right now.
Starlink, right?
Yeah, Starlink.
Starlink is the biggest product that they have in terms of making
payloads money up to space for like the International Space Station and stuff like that.
Okay, but I know like they've named a lot of crazy verticals in this prospectus, man. I would encourage anybody that wants a good lab to just take a peek at some of that stuff. Man, they talking about they're gonna be selling stuff to aliens, dog.
That's why Peter Thiel paused for a second. Yeah. That's why he paused for a minute.
They said, man, listen, we're going to have $1.75 trillion market cap, I want to say is what it's predicted at. Or it might be more than that. I seen the number earlier. It might be 175 trillion. Either way, it's a number that's vastly.
You said 175 trillion?
Whatever the number
read out how much currency we have in circulation.
It's more. It's more. That's the thing. It is more. It is more than the money that we currently have in circulation. Yes. That is the proposition from the SpaceX camp, is that this is going to be an IPO that's going to revolutionize X, Y, and Z. But when we talk corruption economy, there are some concerns with SpaceX. For one, to me, the rolling of XAI into it, a company that was noted to be burning billions of dollars a day with no real prospects to make money. They rolled that into SpaceX, right? So that's just part of
Twitter or X was rolled into XAI, correct?
I want to say so. He's basically kind of like rolling a bunch of his companies up into one big umbrella with this SpaceX IPO. And the concerning part when we start talking corruption economy is the way that this is about to be pushed off or kind of forced onto investors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the big concerns with this is that they're trying to fast track the listing of this stock as something that could be eligible for the S&P 500. And a lot of index funds that people's retirement accounts that are invested in. And the argument here is that you're not giving me a choice. You're making me invest in these things if you're including it in these funds directly after IPOs. And one thing we've learned about IPOs over the years is IPO stands for is probably overpriced. Whatever it comes out at, you're probably going to see it dip 20% over the next month and a half before things regulate. And what's going on with this SpaceX situation, man, them including it in people's retirement accounts, I just can't get behind it whenever you see the cash burn of some of these businesses along with how vague the plan is. It's like, how much do you really believe and trust Elon Musk? I think is what this comes down to. And for me, that answer is 0. I don't trust that motherfucker. He be lying. He been talking about full self-driving cars for a decade and a half now.
And that ain't never happened.
It ain't never happened. Waymo is closer to full self-driving than them.
I heard that be people driving them cars.
In the Waymo cars?
Yes.
It's a dude in India with a joystick.
That's exactly what they said.
Well, you know, that's a lot of this AI stuff, though, bro. Like, you remember when Amazon did that store?
Uh-huh.
They were like, yeah, you know, you just grab stuff and walk out. It's a test store, man. AI, all that stuff. Bro, they had a whole building of people in India going through that joint. Yeah, like as you scanning, as you picking something up, they putting it on you. You know, there's people watching these cameras. Yeah, they were recording everything. That's crazy. So like a lot of these things that they're saying are being done, you know, artificially are actually being done by manual processes and verified by manual processes.
I kind of want to get back to SpaceX because I know you were talking about them joining the S&P 500. I just want to talk about some of the criteria that goes into actually joining the S&P 500. So it is selected by a committee and they evaluate the stock. So here are some of the core eligibility criteria that goes into it. Market capitalization. Minimum unadjusted market cap of at least $22.7 billion. Profitability. Positive as reported earnings over the most recent quarter combined with positive earnings over the trailing 4 consecutive quarters. Liquidity. High trading activity where annual dollar values traded exceeds the company's float adjusted market capitalization with a minimum of 250 shares traded in the previous 6 months. Public float, at least 50% of the company's outstanding shares must be available for public trading. And lastly, operating history. The company must have been publicly listed for at least 12 months prior to evaluation.
So boom, that last one right there, right? We speed running it. 12 months is what it's supposed to be. It need to be around for at least a year. And they're looking at it like, oh, they're going public. We're going to add them in it immediately. Immediatamente, which is not great.
That's crazy to me.
The other aspect of it, and this is what I failed to mention that I did want to talk about.
That's why I brought it up. You talk about the trade, the shares?
Yes, the shares are the real concern here, right? So, yes, it will be a publicly traded company, but it would be very unique in the sense of how the shares are structured. So they're looking at 3 different classes of shares. Class A shares would be for the investors that I believe are already involved. They would have those voting shares.
Like the private shares and everything, right?
Yeah, like those I guess they're called preferred stock type owners. And then what you have here for Elon himself alone, he has Class B shares, which are going to be known as super voting shares, where each one of his votes
Man, look at my face, man.
Each one of his shares is worth 10 votes. So essentially, like, Jalen just mentioned 50% of the company has to be available for the public. But with how it's structured, even if he only owns 14% of the company, he would have 80% of the voting power.
That's crazy.
So
that's nuts.
He would literally, and it's not structured similar to companies where the board, they're gonna have a lot of the say on what he's doing. He's kind of operating with impunity here, and it's pretty fucking ridiculous to say the least. Just pretty ridiculous. It's like, what are we doing? And do you believe we will really make it to Mars?
At one point, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Now, do you believe?
Like when you say we were gonna make it to Mars, now you're talking about like within the next...
like a colony of people living on Mars.
I told you what I believe. I believe Elon Musk is an alien that was abandoned by his people, and he's trying to make it back so he can go get his revenge.
That boy called Elon Invader Zim.
Pretty much.
Yeah, man, this whole SpaceX thing's crazy. I'm trying my best to avoid it, but it looks like we're not going to have the opportunity to. And one of the big concerns with that is that they're passing off what may potentially be a big fucking dud onto the general public. And it's interpreted by some experts as a way to transfer wealth from the less fortunate to the more fortunate. The rich get richer, as they say. And it's like, why are we giving Elon Musk more of our money?
Yeah, because
why?
Between Tesla and Doge, I'm done with Elon Musk, man.
Yeah.
I'm done with Elon Musk, man.
Yeah, man.
You got anything else you want to get off on in this topic?
Nah, nothing on this one. I know we got to wrap pretty soon. I know we kind of brought up a few different things, getting the rust off them wheels, getting back into the pod flow, But you got anything else you want to bring up?
Nah, man, I don't really have anything else that I want to bring up. We're just gonna do a better job of being consistent. So appreciate y'all for listening. If y'all still here this far into the episode, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for riding with us.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And as always, man, y'all know we love y'all. Black Wealth family. We'll be back with another installment again soon. Y'all tap in, tell a friend. Y'all leave us a rating and review if y'all rocking with us, man. Keep us going, put that battery in our back so we can get back on and get this information out there to the people.
DM our ass again and everything. Say what's happening with it, man.
You can call him a little bit.
No, don't call me
that. What's that, a little bit?
This guy here.
Nah, man, I'm just messing with y'all. But yeah, definitely y'all hit us up. We'll be back again soon. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and wrap the show, bro.
Right. I don't even remember how to wrap the show now.
God, I thought you do. I tried to pass the ball to you. You passed it right back. No, shoot it.
So look, once again, y'all, please leave us a rating and review. Y'all, please continue to tap in with us. Once again, if y'all still listening, we appreciate y'all. Until next time, this is Black Wealth Renaissance signing out. Peace.